and they executed. So I thought their ability to make shots and spread us out was a challenge. I think for us, I just begin by giving them credit, and I know our guys are hurting, and I think we all are. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, Adam, if you can ask a question.
Chris, thank you for doing this with us. It seemed like you guys had a good start, obviously, and you guys had a little bit of a lead, but it seemed like they were able to, just keep fighting at you guys. Did you feel that you guys had the necessary jump to combat? You knew they were, Oral Roberts was going to come in, priming for the upset. Did you feel you guys had the necessary jump to match their energy?
I did not feel like we were as quick to loose balls as we needed to be early. I did not feel like I just felt like they beat us to too much stuff. We had some self-inflicted turnovers. I thought our guys, listen, our guys have had a great readiness to play all year. For whatever reason, us being slower to loose balls, I'll put that on me. I did not think that we had, the necessary juice there early, for whatever reason, but also give them credit, for beating us to those loose balls.
Hey, Brendan Gulick.
Chris, thanks again for doing this. Hey, what's the message to a team like this in a locker room where when you get into a tournament, it could be as quick an exit or as lengthy a run as fate might have it. And obviously, this season you guys have had some pretty down to the wire postseason games. But when you get snake bitten and you've had a good run as a team this year, what's the message to a team in a locker room post game?
I think as much as anything, you're trying to bring some perspective to the season, which is hard to do in this moment, Brendan. I think, listen, we all have to be responsible for not quite getting it done, and it begins with me, first and foremost with me. So I think, obviously you're a 2 seed for a reason. That means you put in great work throughout the season. You had a body of work that was really good, and there were some tremendous moments this season. By and large, it was a special year with a conclusion that is one we've got to lean into, and it's incredibly disappointing. I think it's hard to give perspective, too much perspective, but that's what we tried to do.
Hey, Patrick Murphy.
Chris, obviously you talked this week about their 3-point shooting coming into this game. Was the plan to try and match that, or were you guys looking to try and get a little bit more down low and battle them that way, use your size a little bit?
Yeah, no, I thought we were, I thought we did a better job in the second half of doing that and playing through the post. The problem is we knew they would collapse and crowd the post and trap it, and we didn't always make great finishes or great decisions there in traffic. But I thought our guys did a really good job. I thought EJ was terrific in the second half, kind of playing through contact and playing through some physicality. And I thought we were more intentional in the second half, but we didn't do a good enough job in the first half playing through it.
Okay, Stephen Means.
Coach, this program just seemed like it was ready to take a leap this season with, some of the strides it made, obviously being a top 10 team in the country, getting the number 2 seed, the way it was playing late in the Big Ten tournament and get to that championship game. I guess when you have a loss like this, it may be hard to answer this question right now, but how do you maybe reassess what this team needs to do to maybe take that next step and be a team who can make a deep tournament run in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think Stephen, we'll once here we have some time to reflect. Listen, I thought there were a lot of really important strides this year and a lot of really good moments. This is incredibly, disappointing. There's no other way to look at it. But it certainly doesn't discount what our guys have done throughout the bulk of the season. You're playing in a win or lose, win or go home environment, and we've got to own that. But I don't by any stretch think it's we'll have time to reflect on some of the positive steps we took here as a program this year. But like I said, this right now we've got to lean into this disappointment and embrace it for what it is and figure out how we can grow moving forward.
Okay, Bill Landis.
Chris, how does an NCAA tournament success factor into your evaluation of your program? You've been here 3 times now. You've not gotten out of the first weekend. I think previous trips you could consider successes, even though you didn't get out. This I imagine you can't. So just where are you, I guess, with that? It's kind of similar to what Steven just asked you, but it felt like you guys were on a trajectory a little bit, and that got stunted.
Yeah, I think obviously that's the next step for us. There's no question. Is finding a way to get to the second weekend, and I think in the previous couple years we were a higher seeded, or however you look at it, we were beaten by teams that were higher seeded than us. We were able to upset a team there in 2 years ago. So this has not happened to us in our 3 years together, 4 years together. But again, that doesn't discount the fact that I understand we need to. It's where we need to be moving forward. We certainly thought we had a great chance last year. We certainly thought we had a great chance this year. We didn't get it done this year.
Okay, Steve Hellwagon.
Yeah, it just seemed that for the longest time in the first half, I think you had one field goal over an 8.5-minute stretch. Just seemed there was no flow to this offense almost the entire game. And a lot of that maybe had to do with their defense, turnovers, just different things like that. Just what did they do to take you, it seems to be, out of any kind of a rhythm, I guess?
Yeah, they weren't guarding some guys, Steve, and we had some careless turnovers. But I think the biggest thing is they just, they were not guarding a couple of our guys and really crowding things and making driving lanes and post-ups difficult. And then I think we missed some open looks that we've had, that we've made. But I think that combined with just a couple of our sloppy, careless turnovers contributed to a poor offensive half.
This is a tough question, but to hear your answer that they're not guarding a couple of your guys would beg the question that, and maybe this is better for a follow-up after the season, but there's got to be upgrades in some regard. Just, I don't know, just you played this season with the team that you had. They gave you everything that they had, but I don't know, what's your overarching thought about, having to get back out there and bang the bushes for, whatever you can get at this point?
I think that's something we'll evaluate. I agree with you. I think our guys were tremendous at giving us what they had. I thought we also had some clean looks, Steve, that guys have made here in the last couple of weeks that we just didn't make. And whether that was, I thought we had a lot of clean looks. I did think we had a lot of clean looks that, guys have made that I certainly trust and believe that guys can make. You combine that with, we've got really good free throw shooters. We've got a really good free throw shooting team. We just missed some critical ones. And I think for me, I'll probably reflect back on ways in which I could have done a better job and helped them in certain areas. That's what I'll live with.
Thank you.
Okay, Whitney.
Hey, Chris. the way that this game ended and how Dwayne just really puts his heart on his sleeve after losses, what did you say to him? And what are you going to work with him moving forward to next year?
Yeah, I think, you know, again, it comes back to some of his decision-making. And listen, he had some clean looks. He had two really clean looks there late that, you know, I believe he's going to make, that he's made a lot of. He had two really clean looks, one off an action out of a timeout and the other one off of the offensive rebound there late. So, you know, maybe he was pressing a little bit. You know, this was Dwayne's first, along with other guys, this was their first real experience in the pressure of an NCAA tournament game. And, you know, maybe there's some things I could have done better to kind of relax him, because I thought he played uncharacteristically, maybe a little too wound up. You know, I just thought he had some clean looks that he missed, and then he had a couple poor decisions. But, you know, again, Dwayne's a guy that has been such a terrific player for us all year. But he'll use this as a learning experience.
You mentioned uncharacteristic things like the missed free throws and the Dwayne misses. Did some of that maybe come from inexperience in this setting, perhaps?
Well, I mean, I think that's possible. I also think, listen, it's a pressure-packed situation. You know, you're a 2 seed playing a 15 seed that's really good, better than people think. And, you know, I think that's the reality for, you know, for young guys. I thought, you know, we just had some uncharacteristic misses from guys that are terrific shooters and really good free throw shooters. And, you know, again, I think what I'll reflect on is, okay, what you know, is there something I could have done to maybe relax them a little bit? But that's not why we lost the game. I thought we lost the game because they made more plays, and I did not think that our ability. I thought they were quicker to loose balls throughout the course of the game.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for the time.
Bruce.
Chris, you had them by 4 late in regulation. They missed twice. You had 2 chances to pad it. Dwayne had a turnover. EJ had a turnover. They're not a great defensive team. 15 turnovers today. Is that the juncture of the game that when you look back and question things, that's the one maybe you focus on?
Yeah, I think that'll be a big part of it, Bruce. I think we had a couple possessions there that, you know, we just had rush plays. I think the one in transition by Dwayne was a really rush play. So, yeah, that was a critical stretch.
Thank you.
Chris, you got questions, you know, late in the year when you guys had games where you gave up some leads late, other teams went on runs, and, you know, we know that's part of the game, but was there anything that in those games that indicated maybe you guys were susceptible to letdowns at times that popped up today? Was that any foreshadowing or no?
You know, I think the other ones, I think with the exception of, I would say that the one poor possession we had in transition was something that we've seen at times, but this one was a little bit unique, Doug, in the fact that we missed free throws. And done that. We've really been, you know, we had a couple, you know, I have to go back and look at it, but when I reflect on it, I think, with the exception of the one possession there in transition, you know, I thought we were able to get some good stuff. We didn't make enough plays.
Okay, Adam.
Chris, without Kyle, looked like Justice was hobbling. Seth was hobbling. I know you've had guys that have been dealing with injuries, but how did not having Kyle impact the game, and how limited were some of your other guys?
Well, listen, I've said this, that this team misses Kyle more than any team that I've been a part of. And it certainly missed his versatility today at the 5. because of how they play. We knew that coming in, and we knew there were going to be some matchup challenges with how they play. But there's a reason why Kyle didn't play today. He just, he wasn't ready to play. He wanted to play, but he wasn't ready or cleared to play. But I think, last year's team could absorb his loss better because we had some active, high energy Andre, some other guys. This team has really missed him when he's been out. It's not that, but obviously we felt him.
And with Justice and with Seth, like how hobbled, how limited were they in a game like this? It seemed like they weren't able to be quite themselves.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, Seth was struggling all week with his knee and his back. Justice, I think, has been battling his injury, and I give him a lot of credit. He's really been battling it well. You have to ask him if it bothered him today. I did not think he moved like he had typically moved last week, but that might have been a byproduct of just, another reason outside of his injury. There's no question.
Hey, Colin.
That he's battling with his groin injury, but yeah, today he looked a little hobbled.
Hey, Chris, I think Ace Smith and O'Banner had, if I'm remembering, 23 of their last 24 points, and they were both right around 30 for the game. Did you, thinking back on it, how do you feel like you did strategically to defending Oral Roberts and specifically those two guys?
Yeah, obviously not good enough. Obviously we didn't. We gave him too many clean looks throughout the game, both guys. So that's ultimately my fault. They just had too many clean looks.
Okay, last one from Tim Hall.
Yeah, Chris, you guys came into the tournament and you had mentioned your defense going in, but ranked 75th. That's the highest among teams that were in the top 25 in KenPom. Is when you look at everything that was going on with your team here at the end, is that going to be maybe the number one focus in the off season, getting tougher defensively going forward?
Yeah, I think that's certainly going to be priority number one. It's been unlike teams that we've had, and it got us today.